It's more of a personalized GPT that knows your business. You are not asking general questions, but you are asking questions regarding your own business. I look at AI as a next chapter in the human history. I just thought about doing things differently to boost efficiency. So it's not always that you are solving a problem. You're just introducing a new way of doing the same thing. In a nutshell, if I summarize it all, I would say make the minimum lovable product rather than just MVP. So when you work with that mindset, it reflects in everything naturally. Every country has a different political view of what ethical AI actually means, and there are companies inside those countries which are in competition with each other, which makes it even more complex. So even today, the smartphone in your pocket, if you look at that, does it comply with all those ethical um, principles or not?
Mustafa is a Salesforce consultant turned entrepreneur. He's built Lazy Admin, an AI-powered data insights tool helping teams turn complex CRM data into clear business intelligence in seconds. He's created an industry's first zero-data-exfiltration architecture, making it possible for companies to use AI securely inside their CRMs without exposing private data. In this episode, we explore how AI is shifting from generic assistant into a personalized business partner, one that understands your language, your numbers, and your goals. We talk about the future of ethical AI, how to build products people love, and what it really takes to innovate beyond solving problems. If you enjoy conversations like this, make sure to subscribe and follow on your favorite podcast app and YouTube. If something in this discussion resonates with you, drop a comment and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear your perspective. And now, enjoy the conversation. Welcome, Mustafa. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me on your podcast, Vit. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, before we jump into the conversation, uh, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what you do today?
So briefly, I started as a full stack developer in my career, and then I worked on different diverse technology stacks, and then I moved to Australia in 2014, and now I'm working in the Salesforce independent consulting space, and also more into launching the tech startups.
Okay. So, your startup is called Lazy Admin, right? Or is this the name of the product?
So it's the name of the product, Lazy Admin.
Okay. Can you tell a little bit more about that and what sort of problems sparked an idea for this product?
So Lazy Admin is actually a data insights tool, which is based on AI. It helps user to use natural language to get the data insights, and
Mhm.
not just the data insights and reporting. There are three key components of it. One is the data extraction, which is the reports. User can ask any questions regarding their business. For example, show me the list of cases from last week. Show me the my last quarter's revenue. Show me the unconverted leads or any service KPI related reports, sales reporting, financial operations reporting, whatever. So they can fetch on natural language command.
Mhm.
So it's more of a personalized GPT that knows your business. You are not asking general questions, but you are asking questions regarding your own business. That
Mhm.
saves a lot of time and effort and staff hours and cost, of course. Um, and besides the data insights, there is one more component. There are two more components to it. One is data visualization, which helps you convert that report into charts in just 2 clicks, and then
Mm.
you can analyze those charts as well, that what's happening in your numbers. So actually knowing your numbers and having your data talk back to you with strategic recommendations, and what's the strengths and weaknesses and how to improve these numbers, blah blah blah. So so in a nutshell, it's data insights, data visualization, and data analysis. That would take days. Now with lazy admin, it takes seconds.
And I understand this is all based on CRM databases, like Salesforce would be the primary one, right?
So as a packaged product, we have built it for Salesforce, and there are
Mm-hmm.
certain reasons for that. But we can surely customize that for any custom databases that organizations do have in their IT landscape and in their ecosystem. So we can customize it
I
for any
see.
custom databases, but as a product, it's available for Salesforce.
I see. Okay, so it can work with any database. Doesn't have to be a CRM, basically.
Yeah,
Is
it
there a
can
reason?
work with any database with the customization.
Yeah.
So there is a mix of reasons. So first, Salesforce is a platform that has its metadata and the database structure and skeleton on platform on the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it easier from the technical standpoint that we can achieve the purpose without actually sharing customers' data. So it supports the architecture. And the other reasons are since I was working in the Salesforce space as a consultant, and I noticed how companies, spend a lot of time, hours and days in just this one recurring activity, which is data insights. So
Mm-hmm.
that sparked the idea, and it made a good founder product mix.
I see it. So the tool is designed for um, sales reps, basically, not for developers to get insights from the database. I see. Got it. So in
See,
your early
anyone can
days,
use it. Anyone can use it from executives to the sales staff, service staff, operations, finance, or even technical people.
mhm,
So it can help anyone across the hierarchy, even Salesforce
okay.
admins as well.
Okay. So can you get back to a little bit more? So you were a consultant before. You saw some issues with it. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what kind of issues you saw in solving? Maybe saving time to people, or money, or whatever the case is.
Yeah, so it was not a problem per se, but it was an underserved area or undiscovered area where um, I just thought about doing things differently to boost efficiency. So it's not
Hmm.
always that you are solving a problem. You're just introducing a new way of doing the same thing. For example, there were taxis before Uber. Nobody could think of Uber when there were taxis, right? So it's just a new way of doing the same thing that that brings down the hours and days efforts to seconds. So uh, that's the kind of thing we thought about introducing.
If you are enjoying this episode, it would mean a lot if you like, subscribe, or leave a quick comment. It really helps more people discover the show, explore these ideas, and be part of the conversation. Your support makes it all possible. So thank you for being here. Mhm. Can you tell me a little bit how did you validate this idea with real users in the early stage?
So before the development, I took a very lean approach. When the idea crossed my mind, I spoke to a few potential users and started development. And during the development and after the development, we offered that solution to a few companies for free and enhanced the product based on the customer feedback. So that helped a lot
Okay, so
to
so you
validate the
okay,
idea and whether it's working, what's working, what's not working.
yeah, okay, understand. Were there any specific technical challenges maybe in the beginning that you had to solve, and maybe you can share those stories?
So few technical challenges was to get the overall application to understand the customer's world, right? Because lazy admin supports natural language, but the user can ask anything. So to bridge that gap, we also introduced one more thing in lazy admin, which is to train lazy admin on a per customer basis to understand their business lingo, acronyms, vocabulary, which are local to their organization. So the business users can talk to to lazy admin like the way they are talking to a data assistant who is working in their own organization, and it will understand their business vocabulary too. So having a customized experience on per customer basis, that was a key challenge that we achieved successfully.
So you started like 9 years ago with this, right? Did you start with AI right away, or you build it later?
So yeah, sorry. Coming back to your previous question, there was the second challenge was not to compromise the data security and compliance, which is a more like a big concern for companies. So there was two major challenges that we resolved successfully.
Mm-hmm.
And now your current question is about, like, I was working on different technology stacks for last couple of years, uh, and for last 9 years I have been in the Salesforce consulting space. uh, the journey of lazy admin started in the beginning of 2023, when this boom of AI just came, and when so I thought about having this sort of idea that could really solve the problem without sharing the data.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. Understand. So to get a little bit more practical, I guess, how does it work? Can you give me a couple of examples what people can, like, day to day, what they can do?
So let me give you a simple walkthrough. So um, a user wants a data insights, right? A data
Mm-hmm.
insights or on something. For example, give me the my last fiscal year's revenue or last quarter's revenue. So he or she would type the query in the natural language, and the report comes out. That's the first point where user saves time. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in just 2 clicks, user can convert that into a beautiful charts, so just to visualize that data. And as a third step, user can user can analyze that data on like what's happening in my numbers, the key takeaways, strengths and weaknesses, the trajectory of the data. If I keep going like this, where I'll end up, and the strategic recommendations which are tailored to your organization and tailored to your industry. And the one good thing about it is it tells you more than the data you have. For example, if you are looking at the real estate data, real estate report, property market, it will also factor in the interest rates by set by the government and the central bank, maybe oil prices or the situation of war or any external factors which are contributing and still relevant, but those factors are not in your data, but it will bring those factors, will build a reasoning around it, and will give you a a well-rounded data analysis like a real human would do in days. Lazy admin would do that in seconds.
Do people have to configure those, like, I don't know, extra parameters for analysis, or does it do it naturally and somehow uh, smart enough to know what to take into account?
Yeah, so that's another thing that we considered as a part of onboarding. We
Mm-hmm.
support our customers as with all the onboarding and setup, and we train them as well, because we think that it's not fair with the companies to leave it all on their own, and they're exploring it on their own. So rather than doing that, we do all that onboarding and context training and everything for them, and they get a ready to use product. So that's a good part about it. And the learning curve for the business users is just 1 to 2 hours, not more than that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
it's unlike
S-
the other products where businesses invest in big AI products and then they don't have any clue what to do with that. So it's better to invest in small purpose-centric apps and achieve the purpose, and make your business AI enabled bit by bit. That gives you the most ROI.
I see. Do users, when they get on board, do they have some sort of training period to for the tool to learn about their business and context? Or how does it work? How long does it take for the system to be operational, basically?
So there are few components that are on the day one. You will get it trained on that, including your custom objects in Salesforce. And there are few things which are specific to your business language and vocabulary and acronyms. we train it for our customers, and we do that discovery and we train that model for them. So it doesn't take more than a week or maybe 2-3 days. So onboarding
Hmm.
is really smooth and quick.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. What typically people say when they start using your tool? Users,
So
I
they are
mean.
really happy. Yeah, so they love it. To be honest, I've got some feedback from a potential customer that I'm seeing the first AI app which is not sharing the data but still very practical.
Hmm. What they don't
So
like about it, or maybe they ask for that is not yet there.
so they ask about the possibility of reading the unstructured data, for example, the files, or getting it customized for any external database like Oracle or SQL. Uh, but
Hmm.
but again, that's all customizable, right? If they want the customization, we can do that.
Yeah, yeah. I
There
can
are few,
imagine,
yeah,
especially if we're talking about salespeople who spend a lot of time on the phone, on the meetings. They probably want to record all of that and then also get some sort of analysis of this, or maybe some insights be taken from it. I can imagine they would like to do that.
especially see executives, and it's not just giving you the data insights. It's helping you with the effective decision making, because data is the
Hmm.
backbone behind every effective decision.
Right, right. Okay. So, do you have anything exciting on the roadmap for your users? Maybe for the next year or 6 months, since AI is moving so fast?
Yeah, so the technology moves really fast. So what we already have a strong foundation in last 1 year that we have built based on the customers' feedback. Now we are working on improving the same features and making the experience even better based on customer feedback, rather than introducing new things very quickly, because it's a purpose centric app and it's already serving the purpose. Now we have to make the experience even better based on customers' feedback
Hmm.
and make it customizable beyond Salesforce.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's talk about AI and trends in the industry since you're working with this technology. Um, what's something that is the most exciting to you that's going on with AI right now? Maybe something you're personally using, maybe something you would like to introduce in your product, anything on that of that nature.
So AI in general, you mean, or AI in terms of the lazy admin product?
In general, just in general.
See, in general, I look at AI as a next chapter in the human history. The history
Mm-hmm.
of the progress. So if you look back in 1700s, there was an agricultural age where your wealth used to be determined by the land you used to own and the what you could grow, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then came the industrial age, which was around 1800s, and the basically the factories and the machineries, those things drove the progress through mass production. Then fast forward to 1990s, that came the digital age, where that paved the way for having the digital businesses where you could be located anywhere in the world and connect with anyone anywhere in the world and to sell anywhere, right? Now this
Mm-hmm.
AI is basically the natural continuation of that same progress path. Although we are scared of few things, and there are few things we are scared about, but I think it's very important to be on the right side of this development.
I see. So, there are many areas where AI is expanding and helping with maybe with like simple stuff like LLMs with text, right, and language processing, and then also what we've seen lately, what's going on with video and images, and like there are AI actresses for the Hollywood and things like that. So from your point of view, where do you think AI can make the biggest help for us? Can help us the most, if you will. Maybe it's also areas like medicine. Maybe it's also economy or anything like that. Have you investigated something, researched something? What's the most interesting for you?
There was one thing I was working on which was related to psychology. So AI can help big time with psychology, helping as an assistant to the mental health therapists. Although it will not replace
Mm-hmm.
their job because you need a human for that, right? But it can work as a good assistant, and uh, I worked on that project. I can also help in a number of different industries. It's a really good time to pick an industry, pick a problem area, and try to boost the efficiency through AI in that particular area of that particular industry that you know very well. And that's next 3 to 5 years is basically that.
Yeah. Okay. What about ethics in AI? Many people concerned about the trustworthiness of it, and fact checks and biases and ethics and any of that. What's your take on it? Where you stand on this?
So I personally think that in theory, the ethics of AI, which probably constitutes of transparency and fairness and data privacy and safety and this and that, that is good to have. But in reality, I don't think that will be easy to enforce because the countries are in competition, and every country
Mm-hmm.
has a different political view of what ethical AI actually means. And there are companies inside those countries which are in competition with each other, which makes it even more complex. So even today, the smartphone in your pocket, if you look at that, does it comply with all those ethical um, principles or not? Definitely not, right? Because you're trackable, and you know um, so I think it's very difficult, and it's not perfectly possible to make AI ethically compliant. But yeah, it can be done to some extent. There is a possibility. There is a possibility that the technology will be there but not deployed. You know, because
Mm-hmm.
of people losing their jobs, it will be even difficult for the governments to support more and more people, increasing number of unemployed people with more funding. So so it will be even more challenging for governments too. So once the government gets exhausted with their funding, what they will do, they will tax the rich people on their wealth. So
Mm-hmm.
what rich people will do, they will sit on the plane and will go to some tax haven like UAE or Vanuatu. So it will open a can of worms if it keeps going like this. So there will be
Yeah.
some
Okay.
uh, so there will be some stop from the government side as well, I think, if not because of ethics, but because of the economic reasons.
Yeah, yeah, I see. Yeah, I think ethics is a very challenging problem with any technology.
Yeah,
We've seen it with the internet, with computers, with cell phones. Now it's
yeah.
time for AI, and
Mhm.
like things like privacy, and yeah, it's very challenging. So we'll have to see and struggle through this for a while. That's very
Yeah.
interesting. Um, what about this idea of open source AI versus proprietary AI models? How do you, what do you think about either approach um, in general?
So open source AI is actually where you deploy your AI model to your dedicated cloud hosting and or on an on-premise environment, which is which costs you a far less than the proprietary models like ChatGPT or Gemini. But open source is for the long-term strategy where you want the deeper integration, where you want a deeper integration with with your company's data, with AI, and in your day-to-day operations. So it's more of a long-term strategy and long-term approach. But on the other side, you have to train it a lot because you don't have the out-of-the-box training that you have in the proprietary models like ChatGPT or Gemini. And with the proprietary AI models like ChatGPT or Gemini, you have the out-of-the-box training, and it's very good for innovation. You think about an
Hmm.
idea, just do good innovations and just quick rollouts. But on the other side, it's a bit expensive than the proprietary. So it depends. It totally depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah, I see. Okay. And then also, there is this fear flowing around about losing jobs and AI taking all the jobs, and people will not have anything to do basically. What do you think about that? How um, do you consider it a threat, or you're more on the positive side of things?
See, as a first wave of AI, this is the first wave of AI where we are seeing the AI as a nice nice assistant and helping us with the mundane jobs, summarizing emails, appointment setting, and this and that. Um, but um, the real thing comes when with the coming of AGI and ASI, artificial general intelligence, or artificial super intelligence. And still that's a fear of unknown, right? We don't know what's going to happen. But when you connect this sort of intelligence like AGI and ASI with the existing tech in place like neurosciences, robotics, that's where you start seeing you might start seeing the physical jobs getting replaced or trimmed down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what the scary part is. But again, we are not certain, as I mentioned earlier, that that there is a possibility that the technology will be there, but government won't allow to deploy that because of the economic reasons
Mm.
and the unemployment
Yeah,
employment ratio reasons.
yeah, I can see that. That could be
Yeah,
a
because but
stopping
see, it's
point.
it's unstoppable. Somewhere it will happen with the second, third, and fourth wave of AI. It's just the first wave that we are seeing, and it's a good, nice assistant that AI is acting.
Right, right. Okay. So let's switch gears a little bit to your entrepreneurial journey. You mentioned a couple of things already, how you're building Lazy Admin, but I wanted to specifically ask if you can share any sort of mistakes that you made early on, and you took them as lessons, and maybe you would like to share them with people so you can maybe word of wisdom or caution them of certain things.
Yeah, see, I made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot through this startups journey because I launched a few startups before Lazy Admin as well
Mm-hmm.
that I failed with. So a few mistakes or a few things to consider is basically your revenue model and the business model should not be weak. And so um, when you launch a startup or when you launch a product, just understand why the customer will purchase your product. Either you are introducing a completely new user base, or you already have a user base that is with your competitor, and you are launching a better version. Whether it's a B2B
Mm-hmm.
or a B2B SaaS idea, or whether it's a B2C marketplace kind of idea. What nature of idea? What nature of startup it is? What are your unique selling points that makes you different from the other competitors? So having that research in place and thinking beyond the features. So because as a tech enthusiast, we think about this feature, that feature, right? But when you become a product founder, you go beyond the features and you sell the business value, right? So think of it from the business standpoint rather than just the technical features.
Yeah, what do you think about this? I don't know what to call it, but sometimes people get stuck in the build phase, if you will, and they never like ship it, or they always experiment, they prototype many times, and they don't know which way to go. They don't get, maybe they don't see enough traction. Do you have any sort of advice for them how to maybe be more risky a little bit, or how to maybe prototype at rapid speed and figure out which way to go? Do you have any? Have you experienced that yourself, and do you have anything to advise?
Yeah, so the way I resolve this problem is I try to minimize the development time as much as possible. Pick the pre-developed components, or now you can write the code with ChatGPT, with Gemini. So just
Mm-hmm.
write the code, get the code written, get the components ready as much as you can get, and then customize only that part that cannot be done through these means. So spend less time on the development because the after the launch, the marketing part will take much of your attention and budget. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the part where you have to make more, to pay more attention to.
Yeah. Okay. So marketing is really the um, the area that everybody struggle with in the beginning, especially first-time founders. So that's and I actually get some people asking me about this as well. Like, do you have any strategies for that? Do you have any ideas for that? Nobody really knows. No, I don't think nobody have like a silver bullet to solve this problem. Everybody's different.
Yeah, because see, every product is different. Your
Yeah.
customer journey, your sales funnel is different. That's why I said just first figure out what sort of product you are launching, and what kind of customer segmentation you are targeting, and what's your customer segmentation. And there are, you know, a mix of advertising mediums and promotion mediums, so that you can shortlist and adopt, considering cost in mind and everything. So I have a defined framework of how I evaluate the startup ideas. We can do a separate podcast on that, or I can briefly tell now. But uh, that's what I have learned during this startup journey.
Yeah, that's fine. That would be great. Okay. And then also, do you have any sort of advice for yourself when 9 years ago when you were starting with Lazy Admin, maybe something that you wish you started with and you didn't like waste a lot of time or didn't have to pivot or whatnot?
Yeah. So you mean 2 years ago, like in 2023, when I started Lazy Admin, right? So
Yes.
I learned a lot of things on the way from different aspects, which is, the legal, financial side, compliance, data security, marketing. But in a nutshell, if I summarize it all, I would say, make the minimum lovable product rather than just MVP. So when you work with that
Mhm.
mindset, it reflects in everything naturally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. So, lastly, and you can say no, that's fine. I hear that sometimes from people, but I would like to hear some sort of your client story or their success, like before and after type thing. If you can share, maybe you don't have to name them specifically, but just to get people an idea of the result, if you will.
Yeah. So without naming the clients, we like the success story is basically the customers used to spend days and hours on an activity. Uh, for example, let me give you an example. Um, one user spends like more than around 600 hours, 500 or 600 hours just on data insights, right? And not just one business user. The one business user requests uh, to the technical person to get the data insight, right? And then there's
Mm-hmm.
turnaround time, wait time. So if you save that effort, and if you multiply that effect over hundreds and thousands of users, like the organizations can save tens and thousands of hours annually and millions in costs. That's the impact, because you are
Okay.
you're empowering your business teams, uh, for like for empowering your business team for not relying on the technical people for those insights and the
Yeah.
analysis.
Got it. You're basically moving this functionality right to the user, and they can,
Yeah.
as you said earlier, use a natural language. They can query for insights and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, that's
Hmm.
great. All right. So why don't we do at the end here? Why don't we do a short blitz round with a few questions and see that
Sure.
this is the theme for the innovation that I do. So I'm just curious to see how people think about innovation and in general. So
Yeah.
can you define innovation in a single word?
Better way of doing things, because it's not just solving the problems always.
Okay, got it. What's one of the innovations that you think changed the world completely? Could be from any time period, any century.
I'll tell you two. One is fire, and the other one is wheel.
Okay, good. Okay. And then the last one is, um, what do you think? Which one of the today's technologies we will be laughing at 10 years from now?
Um, Drafting the emails from scratch.
Okay. Okay. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. We spend so much time writing emails. It would be nice to have it some other way. Yeah. All right, Mustafa. Thank you very much for your time today, for sharing your insights and stories and take on AI and technologies and everything.
Thanks, Vit, for inviting me on your podcast. It was a real pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to you later. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this conversation gave you fresh ideas and inspiration. If so, please share it with your friends and colleagues. Don't forget to follow or subscribe and leave a quick comment. It helps more people discover this episode. See you next time.